The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, December 17, reveal that Claire Newman will kick off the next phase of her career at Chancellor, where Nikki Newman will offer plenty of support. Nikki will think the sky's the limit for Claire in the corporate world, but there's a hidden threat brewing to Claire's happiness and success. Of course, that threat is Jordan and Ian Ward's partnership, since Claire is still on their target list. Jordan has big plans to go after Claire and rip her away from this Newman world, so Claire had better enjoy the peace while it lasts. Speaking of peace, Diane Jenkins Abbott is enjoying the progress she's made with Kyle Abbott and has no regrets about surrendering the Jabot co-CEO spot. However, Diane won't want to let Jack Abbott down now that he's trusted her with Jabot Classic, which is the plan now that they've acquired Glissade and are revamping it. Diane knows there are still some naysayers out there who don't believe she deserves to be in the Abbott family business, but she'll work to prove she indeed belongs there. Other Y&R spoilers say Billy Abbott will face more pushback when it comes to his scheme to bring Victor Newman down. Jack doesn't think it's a good idea for his brother to go after revenge, so he'll once again warn Billy to let it go. Although Billy will play up how he's been wronged, Jack will dig his heels in and make a prediction about Billy causing more trouble. Billy may be offended and use this as another example of Jack thinking he's a screw-up who can't accomplish his goals. Jack, on the other hand, may argue that he's just trying to protect Billy from Victor's wrath. Since Jack knows better than anyone how vindictive Victor can be, he won't want Billy unleashing another round of turmoil. Nevertheless, Billy will stick to his vengeful plan and promise Sally Spectra that he's not going to fail. Since Billy's going to rope another key player into his plot, we'll see if that might be Kyle or someone else Victor has wronged like him. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Billy will show off some fierce determination no matter what, so stay tuned for updates on any revenge-related news. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers preview for the week of December 16 to 20 reveal that Denise Tolliver will have some positive updates to report. After this private investigator follows a lead in Los Angeles, she'll come back to Genoa City with good news. Denise will let Nate Hastings and Amy Lewis know that she's tracked Damien down, so she'll suggest it's Amy and Nate's call now on where they want to take this. Amy will be thrilled over Denise finding Nate's half-brother, but they'll have to discuss how to proceed. Since Amy wants Nate to drop a lot of shocking information on Damien, they'll need to figure out the most delicate way to do that. At Society, Billy Abbott will gloat about his plan to take Victor Newman down, and he'll assure Sally Spectra that he's not going to fail. When Sally wonders how Billy could be so sure, he'll insist it's because he has a plan. And he just walked in the door, Billy will add as someone off-screen appears in Y&R's weekly preview video. Billy will have a few tricks up his sleeve involving this mysterious character, who'll either be an ally or someone he plans to use to his advantage somehow. At the cottage, Nick Newman will be by Sharon Newman's side as she prepares to undergo hypnosis. Sharon will welcome Alan Laurent into her home and accept that this strategy may not work. Even so, Sharon will admit she's desperate and willing to try whatever she can to recover her memory. Once Alan's certain that Sharon wants to move full speed ahead, he should help her attempt to unlock the real story behind her blackouts. Our predictions hint that Jordan and Ian Ward's scheme will hit more snags thanks to the memory flood that could be brewing. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sharon may face some unsettling flashes once Alan hypnotizes her, so stay tuned to see what she'll recall. Is where you want to be for the hottest Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news, so visit us often for more Y&R info. Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, December 16 promise some explosive plot twists in the land of Genoa City, as another week kicks off on the soap. Next on Young and the Restless. Someone has an ace in the hole, while another undergoes hypnosis, and some startling revelations are revealed. What kind of drama is set to unravel on Monday? Time to dive right in. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Billy Abbott's ace in the hole. Lie and R spoilers for Monday, December 16. Note that Billy Abbott will meet up with Sally Spectra at Society. The two will have a chat, and Billy will bring up his need to bring Victor Newman down. While Sally will be concerned that Billy is headed for trouble, after all, many have tried to mess with the mustache and have failed, Abbott will reveal he's got an ace in the hole. During the Y and R preview for December 16 to 20, Billy will allude that someone will be key to this scheme and note that they've just walked through the door. As Sally looks on, the preview flashes to another scene and storyline. So who is Billy talking about, and will he succeed? I and R spoilers. Sharon Newman's hypnosis. Across town, Y and R spoilers for Monday, December 16 suggest that Sharon Newman will gear up for her hypnosis session, which will take place at her home. Added teasers state that Alan Laurent will show up, but he'll also make it clear that she may not get all the answers she's interested in. However, that won't stop Sharon's determination to get to the truth. It's clear that there are risks involved in this undertaking, and the session may not produce any concrete results, but Sharon will be willing to take those chances to move forward. The Young and the Restless spoilers, shocking discoveries. Lastly, Y and R spoilers for Monday hint that Sharon's hypnosis session could offer some stunning bombshells. It looks like Sharon won't go through this alone, as Nick Newman will be on hand. It's also likely Faith Newman and Michael Baldwin will also be there, as both mentioned the need to support Sharon during her hypnosis. So what kind of memories from Heather Stevens' murder or Phyllis Summers' crash will resurface? Are you excited about Monday's show? Comment below. Make sure to tune into the CBS soap each day so you don't miss a moment of the drama, and check out SOS regularly for the most up-to-date Young and the Restless spoilers and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers recap for Monday, December 16, reveals that while Jordan is waiting for Ian Ward to return to their motel room, she'll flash back to when he first approached her as an ordained minister in prison. Jordan will recall how she wanted nothing to do with Ian until he mentioned their Genoa City connection, which led to them airing their grievances against the Newmans. In other Y and R flashbacks, Jordan will recall quoting scripture to Ian and acting like he'd enlightened her. However, Jordan will also remember tempting Ian to get back what they'd lost, so that clearly brought the alliance that fans are seeing now. At Society, Ian will eavesdrop on Maria Copeland's conversation with Tessa Porter and Claire Newman, so he'll hear about Sharon Newman's hypnosis and the disturbing memories it could dig up. Once Ian realizes Claire is friends with Mariah and Tessa, he'll smile over that news and give Jordan updates later. Ian will think they should exploit this friendship, but Jordan will want to stick with their original plan. Ian will snap about Jordan not being the one who's calling the shots, but she'll fire back that they're equal partners. Even so, Ian will suggest the only reason the need to change things up is because Jordan botched her portion of the scheme. Jordan will once again insist she's not to blame, but Ian will want to focus on more important matters. After Ian suggests he can befriend Tessa using his charm, he'll tell Jordan to get Sharon out of the picture. Jordan will object since there are so many cops crawling around, but Ian will maintain that it's time for Sharon to depart this early plane for good. At the cottage, Alan Laurent will put Sharon under hypnosis, while Nick Newman and Michael Baldwin are present as well. Once Alan takes Sharon back to the night of Phyllis Summers' crash, she'll recall the bright lights behind her and how she pulled over to let a dark-colored pickup truck pass. Sharon will recall that the truck was going toward town, and she'll remember hearing the crash happen before panicking and wanting to help. Since Sharon will get a bit frantic, Ellen will bring her out of hypnosis and settle her down. Sharon will excitedly realize she indeed wasn't to blame for running Phyllis off the road, so Nick and Michael will be pleased over that revelation too. Michael will stress the importance of finding this truck and the driver to help Sharon's case. Although Sharon will want to keep going and uncover more blackout memories, especially from the night of Heather Stevens' demise, Alan won't think it's wise to overdo it. Nick and Michael will agree with Alan on that, so Sharon will hold off on trying to recover the rest of her memories, despite her eagerness to know what happened. At Society, Phyllis will admit to Billy Abbott that she lied about having Victor Newman take down strategies because she wanted to get his attention. Phyllis will also backtrack on her support of Billy's plan, since this could be dangerous. Since Phyllis put Summer Newman and Daniel Rumalotti Jr. through enough already, she'll be hesitant to throw herself into more drama. Phyllis will advise Billy to reconsider going after Victor for the sake of his children, but he'll insist this is something he has to do. Billy will feel confident that he can pull this off and will play up what a formidable duo they could be if Phyllis would join him. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis will have a tough decision to make, so we'll bring you more predictions on the road ahead for her. It's where you want to be for Fantastic Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news, so make us your top Y and R source. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, December 16, 2024, are here. In the next episode, fans can expect Nick Newman and Sharon Newman to meet with Alan Laurent. Meanwhile, Billy Abbott shows Sally Spectro why his plan will not fail. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Michael Baldwin's realization. Y and R spoilers for Monday, December 16 reveal that Sharon has already made an appointment with Alan. Sharon was determined to pay for her crimes until Michael Baldwin learned disturbing news. Nick pulled Sharon's old medication out of the trash and gave it to Chance Chancellor to test. The test showed that Sharon's medication was also coated with PCP. Y and R spoilers, Sharon Newman's hypnosis. Then, Phyllis confessed to Lauren Fenmore Baldwin that it was not Sharon's car who ran her off the road. Lauren had to tell Michael, so now more people are turning away from Phyllis and headed into Sharon's corner. All of this actually prompted Sharon to find out the truth. Sharon is getting ready to have a hypnosis session with Alan. Nick is going to accompany Sharon during this hypnosis session. Will Sharon be able to remember something? It seems things aren't going so well for Jordan and Ian Ward, so everything could start to become clear soon. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Billy Abbott's guarantee. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, December 16 reveal that Billy and Sally spend more time together. Billy will talk about his goal to take down Victor Newman. Sally will worry that Billy is headed into dangerous territory. However, Billy tells Sally that his plan is foolproof. Then, someone walks in the door. This person is supposedly going to make sure that Billy's plan can't fail. Y and R spoilers, Monday, December 16, 2024. In Monday's episode, fans might also see what happens when Denise Tolliver has information about Damien. What kind of information does Denise bring? And what does it mean for Nate Hastings' future? Speaking of Nate, will Audra Charles get another chance? Nate is advocating for Audra, so let's hope that isn't a mistake. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Monday, December 16, 2024? What are your predictions for Sharon, Nick, Alan, Phyllis, Lauren, and Michael? What does the future hold for Billy, Sally, Victor, Nate, Audra, Damien, and the other residents of Genoa City? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. The Young and the Restless scoop for Monday, December 16 reveals Ian Ward will overhear an alarming conversation. Also coming up, Jordan Howard will flash back to meeting Ian while she was incarcerated. Plus, Alan Laurent will hypnotize Sharon Newman, and Phyllis Summers will have cold feet. My and our spoilers tease Phyllis will whine about Michael Baldwin defending Sharon. She'll tell Billy both Michael and Lauren Fenmore were her friends, but now they're defending her worst enemy. It's like a knife in my heart. Lie and our daily scoop. Alan suggests Sharon needs to get some rest. Talk will turn to getting payback on Victor Newman. Billy wants Nikki Newman to fail big time. He thinks he and Phyllis are smart and have a lot of experience and should be able to pull it off. However, Phyllis will hesitate, saying she's scorched her own life in the past. She'll add that she's lucky her kids even talk to her. So she doesn't want to do something to upset them yet again. But Billy will say revenge on Victor is something he needs to do, and he'll try to talk Phyllis out of reneging. At Sharon's cottage, she and Nick Newman will greet Alan when he arrives. Michael will show up and the hypnotherapy session will begin. He'll take her back to the night of the accident. Sharon will see a dark-colored pickup coming up fast behind her. She pulled over to let it pass her. After Sharon remembers hearing a loud bang, Ellen will wake her up. "I heard the crash in the distance," Sharon will say. "I didn't hit Phyllis." She'll ask Alan if they can keep going, but he'll strongly suggest Sharon get some rest. Before Michael leaves, he'll say they need to locate that pickup truck. Meanwhile, Ian will eavesdrop on Maria Copeland, Claire Newman, and Tessa Porter. Maria will tell them she's worried about her mom. Sharon is being hypnotized, as they speak, to try to recall what happened during those times when she blacked out. Young and the restless scoop. Jordan tells him it's not her fault. Ian will leave, but he'll stare back into the restaurant, a maniacal grin on his face. Then Maria will get a text from Nick, saying Sharon's session is over. She'll let out a sigh of relief, kiss Tessa goodbye, and she'll head out. At the motel, Jordan will recall meeting Ian in prison. She'll flash back to him approaching her, holding a Bible. She resisted him at first, telling him they had nothing in common. But when Ian mentioned Genoa City, that got her attention. And when he brought up the Newman family, Jordan told him Victor destroyed her sister. Finally, Ian will return to the motel with exciting news. He'll tell Jordan their two worlds have crisscrossed. Ian will add he saw her niece with his Mariah and her wife Tessa. "This particular friendship we can use to our advantage," he'll say. "There must be a way we can exploit their relationship." Talk will turn to how Ian believes Jordan bungled their operation. Now Nick Newman has turned detective and Sharon is getting hypnotized, so she can unlock some of those blackouts. Jordan will argue that it wasn't her fault, but Ian will say one good thing to come out of it all is that Tessa doesn't know him, so he can easily befriend her. Jordan will ask how they're going to take care of her niece. "You see to your agenda, you get Sharon out of the picture," he'll reply. It's time for sweet, tragic Sharon to depart this earthly plane for good. But is he suggesting Jordan kill Sharon and frame Claire for the crime? The young and the restless spoilers confirm that Billy Abbott is a man very, very scorned at the moment. He has faced setback after setback in the recent past and is really craving vengeance. He truly went out on a limb for Chelsea, and she cheated on him with Adam Newman. Then Victor Newman once again proved how much he hates Billy Boy by snatching Billy's company from him and then rubbing it in his face. It really did not help that his own mother, Jill Abbott, stabbed him in the back and sold the company to Victor Newman. The very company that Billy fought so hard to hold on to. Now, the young and the restless spoilers reveal that Billy Abbott wants revenge. In the December 11, 2024, episode he told his brother, Jack Abbott, that he was going to get back at Victor. Furthermore, Billy went on to tear into Kyle Abbott for turning his back on the Abbott family and siding with Victor. Billy felt that Kyle really needs to learn a lesson and realize what it means to be loyal to their family. The fire in Billy's eyes is so evident that there is no doubt that he is about to walk down the path of revenge. And he may have the perfect person to use as the means to his end, Claire Grace Newman. Revenge is best served on the bed. Victor is currently very obsessed with his newfound granddaughter, and, of course, Kyle has become romantically involved with her. So, it would make total sense for Billy to use Claire in his quest for revenge. He may decide to seduce Claire and get her into bed with him. Then, rub it in Victor and Kyle's face. Interestingly, this won't be the first time Billy chooses this path. Long-term I&R fans will remember that back in the day, Billy slept with Summer Newman just to get revenge on Nick and Phyllis. Also, he's been married to Victoria Newman in the past, and we know Victor wasn't very happy about that. He literally hates Billy's guts. Imagine the look on his face when he realizes Billy bedded another woman from his family. Oh, sweet revenge. Stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily for more The Young and the Restless spoilers to find out what happens next. Meanwhile, do you want to see Billy romancing Claire? Tell us in the comments. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that a Christmas preview video has leaked for the week of December 23 to 27. So let's talk about what's coming up as Genoa City gets festive. For starters, Cole Howard and Claire Newman will come bearing gifts when they show up at the Newman Ranch. Once Claire walks in with Cole, she'll discover Victor Newman kissing Nikki Newman and crack a joke. Claire will suggest that Nikki and Victor must really be feeling the holiday spirit, since they won't even be standing her under the mistletoe. Of course, Nikki and Victor have never needed an excuse to show their deep affection for each other. At Society, Diane Jenkins Abbott will enjoy some surprising bonding time with Tracy Abbott and Ashley Abbott. As Diane raises a glass with Jack Abbott's sisters, she'll propose a toast to overcoming challenges with courage and determination in true Abbott fashion, Diane says in Y&R's latest preview clip. As for Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, she'll try to enjoy a lovely night out with Michael Baldwin. The key word there is try, since Phyllis Summers will come along to derail her ex-best friend's evening. Phyllis will remain furious with Michael for defending Sharon Newman and with Lauren for not having her back either. However, Lauren will finally get pushed to her breaking point, so she'll insist Phyllis has got it all wrong. After Lauren snaps that they'll never, ever stop caring about Phyllis, she'll add that there are things about this case that Phyllis doesn't know about. What you know, tell me? Phyllis fires back as she demands the rest of the Sharon story in the preview video. Finally, Sharon will enjoy some happy moments at home with Faith Newman, Mariah Copeland, Tessa Porter, and Nick Newman. The whole gang can be heard singing a Christmas song as Y&R's latest promo wraps up. So there'll be some holiday cheer despite the rough few months Sharon's had. Our predictions point to this being the calm before the storm, so we'll bring you updates on all the shocking news that's still to come. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sharon and her loved ones still have plenty of Jordan and Ian Ward drama ahead. Is where you want to be for exciting Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news, so make us your go-to source. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Victor Newman cannot admit he's been had. So, why did he congratulate Jack Abbott for outplaying him in the Glissade deal? Kyle Abbott's talk with his father at Society was enlightening. Both men agreed that they trusted Diane Abbott. But Victor is trying to unnerve her and Kyle that the Abbott family will implode. Obviously, the mustache wants turmoil in the lives of those he loathes. But devoted viewers know that Victor's prediction feels like more than just wishful thinking. He may have set something in motion or is counting on emotional history repeating. The Young and the Restless spoilers, why not ignore Victor Newman? Does the head of any company in the Midwestern metropolis of Genoa City, Wisconsin, have more free time than the great Victor Newman? Stepping back as the head of Newman Enterprises in recent years gave Victor more time to scheme, and he's done precisely that. Fans recall that Braden's character was diagnosed with a rare blood disorder in the recent past, which caused him to release the reins of his fabled conglomerate. However, He retook the helm from Victor Newman within the last year and is writing hard. So he's made time for his favorite hobby, getting Jack. By and our spoilers, Jack Abbott is the world's best. Of everyone in the world, other than Nikki Newman, Jack easily tops a specific list. He's gotten Victor's goat more often than anyone and has beaten him on various occasions. Of course, the writers established Jack as Victor's dramatic foil decades ago. It wouldn't be likely that two heads of business, with Gibbot being much the lesser when compared to Newman Enterprises, would needle each other endlessly. Yet these two ever-immature boys have done so. Victor's supposed acknowledgement of Jack's win is a disguised message. Bergman's character knows his enemy is coming for him, but he needs to know when or what method will be used next time. The young and the restless spoilers, Diane Abbott is most vulnerable. Diane remains insecure. She was shaken by some of what Jack said to her during their ruse. Victor wants to believe the worst, but is not wrong when sensing vulnerability. The first test comes as Kyle returns to work, beside his father at the family business. Diane will be heading what has become the Glissade division. It's not out of the realm of possibility to believe that Victor sold off Glissade's pieces, knowing they were poisoned in some way. If not, his belief that Diane, Jack, and Kyle can't work under the same soapy roof will be the stronger predictor. This site is a leading source for everything linked to the young and the restless. Check back regularly for why and our spoilers and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Sharon Newman is leaning on Nick Newman more than she ever has in the past. But does this indicate a potential romantic reconciliation? Loyal fans of Nick and Sharon are eagerly anticipating the possibility of their reunion, yet the outcome remains uncertain. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Is Chick really endgame? The show has a habit of making it seem like Sharon and Nick are going to reunite, only to avoid going all the way in the end. It's possible that Nick and Sharon could still be headed down separate romantic paths. Of course, Sharon has to focus on her mental health and clearing her name right now, but there'll be room in her life for love down the road. It never hurts to look ahead a bit and start making some long-term predictions. That brings us to Daniel Rumalotti-Jur, who immediately latched onto the idea of Sharon getting drugged once he heard about it. My and our spoilers. Phyllis remains skeptical. Phyllis Summers is still doubtful about the recent developments, but Daniel is beginning to suspect that there might be a valid explanation for Sharon's unusual behavior. We also need to think about who I and R might pair Daniel with now that Heather Stevens is out of the picture. It seems Laylee Winters is no longer a viable option, especially with hints suggesting she might soon find herself falling for someone else. Meanwhile, Jordan and Ian Ward are implicated in Heather's situation, and they were also behind Phyllis' accident. Given that Jordan has been carrying out Ian's schemes, it's only a matter of time before Sharon and Daniel uncover the truth. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Both Daniel and Sharon were victimized by the deadly duo. Both Daniel and Sharon have suffered at the hands of this nefarious pair, which raises the question, could this shared experience create a bond between them in the future? Might Sharon and Daniel discover a fresh outlook that paves the way for a romantic spark? Perhaps Sharon will finally move past the blame she directed at Daniel regarding Cassie Newman's tragic fate. It would certainly be a surprising turn of events if Sharon and Daniel found themselves igniting a passionate connection. Whether it blossoms into a genuine relationship or simply a steamy encounter, Phyllis would undoubtedly be thrown into a frenzy, making it all the more tempting to explore this possibility. The Young and the Restless spoilers note that Christmas is right around the corner, and there's nothing more fun than having little ones in the house excited about Santa's arrival and Christmas morning. Harrison Abbott has talked about how much he enjoyed time with both of his parents in the past, so will he have a special request on Christmas Eve? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Harrison Abbott wants Summer Newman there for the big day. Y and R spoilers indicate there's a good chance that Summer Newman will pop by Christmas Eve to drop over presents and help Harrison prep for Santa's arrival. She, along with Kyle Abbott, will assist the little boy with placing some cookies and milk out for Street Nick, and possibly watch a movie and read him a holiday bedtime story. Harrison will be over the moon spending this special time with Mom and Dad, together as a real family. Could he wish that his mom could be there on Christmas morning to see him open up his gifts from Santa? He'll reason that as she doesn't know what Santa is set to bring, he'll want her there to witness every moment. After all, they weren't able to be together on Thanksgiving because of Phyllis Summers' accident. There's no way Skyle will refuse the little boy, and as there's plenty of room at the Abbott mansion, Summer will likely agree. Y and R spoilers. Skyle gets caught up in Christmas past. If Summer sleeps over at the Abbotts on Christmas Eve, could she and Kyle get caught up in a moment? They may reflect on Christmas past together with Harrison and during a time when it was just the two of them. While Kyle does care for Claire Newman, he still has feelings for Summer. So could Skyle cross a steamy line on Christmas Eve after Harrison falls asleep? This could be something as simple as a kiss, or far more. Will Summer end up spending the night at the Abbotts on Christmas Eve? Comment below. Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Claire Newman is embarking on a new career, as she agreed to work as her grandmother's, Nikki Newman, new assistant. This means that she had to resign as Harrison Abbott's nanny. However, as the boy is busy at school these days, she felt good about her decision. But how will Harrison feel about his new normal? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Harrison Abbott acts out. Y and R spoilers suggest that Harrison is a good, sweet, and kind kid. However, he's just a child, and it's natural for kids to act out when changes pop up in their lives. As fans know, Claire wanted to be the one to break the news to her young friend about deciding to go to Chancellor, but Summer Newman insisted this should come from Harrison's parents. So, behind Claire's back, Summer and Kyle Abbott told Harrison the news, and the boy seemed to take it well. But that doesn't mean that drama won't be on the horizon. Y and R spoilers. Harrison insists on family time. Harrison won't likely be outright rude to Claire when she's around, but his affection for her may lessen as he feels betrayed. The child always loves family time with both his mom and dad, so Harrison could shift gears. Instead of getting excited to see Claire, he may insist on more family time. And of course, Skyle will happily oblige. The three had so much fun on Halloween, and with Christmas right around the corner, there will be plenty of things for them to do. From visiting Santa to walking around looking at holiday lights, tobogganing, watching Christmas movies together, and grabbing hot cocoa, Skyle and Harrison could become the Three Musketeers, leaving Claire feeling alienated. Harrison's insistence on holiday family time might also prompt Kyle to leave Claire behind or break plans. But during all these holiday activities, could Kyle and Summer find themselves recatching feelings? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Will Harrison bring Kyle and Summer back together again? Comment below. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sharon Newman has been relying on Nick Newman more than ever before, but does that really mean they're headed for a romantic reunion? Many Nick and Sharon fans are holding out hope that Y and R will finally put these two back together, but there are no guarantees. The show has a habit of making it seem like Sharon and Nick are going to reunite, only to avoid going all the way in the end. It's possible that Nick and Sharon could still be headed down separate romantic paths. Of course, Sharon has to focus on her mental health and clearing her name right now, but there will be room in her life for love down the road. It never hurts to look ahead a bit and start making some long-term predictions. That brings us to Daniel Romalotti Jr., who immediately latched onto the idea of Sharon getting drugged once he heard about it. Phyllis Summers remains skeptical over the news, but Daniel is starting to realize there's probably a reason why Sharon behaved so out of character. We also have to consider who Y and R has in mind for Daniel as a love interest now that Heather Stevens is gone. Lily Winters doesn't seem to be an option anymore, especially since other spoilers hint that she may fall hard for someone else soon. Jordan and Ian Ward are behind what happened to Heather, not to mention they orchestrated Phyllis' crash. We know Jordan has been doing Ian's dirty work, so it's just a matter of time until Sharon and Daniel know that, too. Both Daniel and Sharon have been victimized by this villainous duo, so could that be something that bonds them somewhere down the line? Could Sharon and Daniel gain a new perspective that opens the door to something romantic happening between them? Sharon may finally move beyond the blame she once felt toward Daniel over Cassie Newman's demise. Likewise, Daniel may let go of any resentment he feels toward Sharon since her actions in recent months haven't been her fault. It'd be quite the twist if Sharon and Daniel developed some form of a sizzling connection, whether it be a real relationship or just a hot hookup. Phyllis would absolutely lose it, so it might be worth doing it for that reason alone. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Daniel and Sharon will have a lot to figure out, so stay tuned for updates on all the surprising revelations ahead. Young and Restless is getting mired in long, dull conversions again. Some are better than others and manage to evoke emotion, such as Jack and Kyle making amends, but most, frankly, just aren't compelling enough to be as long-running as they turn out to be. If I have to watch another scene with Claire going on about her new job or going into detail about Harrison and his many interests, I may scream. There's just no depth or substance. Viewers must be fast-forwarding this stuff, which is surely not the goal. Here's a look at what's happened and what's coming up. Philly rides again. The writers are isolating Phyllis ahead of what's surely going to be the next twist in Heather's murder case, which will see the tables turned completely. How are they isolating her? She's alienated from her closest friends and appears to have only Billy in her corner. She still has her kids, but Daniel was quick to entertain the idea that Sharon may have been drugged, which didn't go over well with his mom. So are Billy and Phyllis merely going to team up to take down Victor, or will the exes find themselves also drawn back into an attaction? A triangle was teased by head writer Josh Griffith, with Sally, of course, being the third party, but there's no telling if the Billy and Phyllis side of it will turn sexual, or if he'll simply be so sucked into plotting with Red that he neglects Ms. Spectra. As for the plot against Victor, I have to admit I was intrigued by the preview with Billy telling Sally that he had a plan and he just walked through the door. Is it a lawyer? A cop? Someone from Victor's past? Give me your best guess in the comments section. Nate's new brother. It's interesting to see the Winters family coming together in the days ahead of the arrival of Damien, Nate's about to be found older brother. If Amy's description is anything to go by, he'll be a pot stirrer and maybe a bad boy type, which could be fun, especially if they pair Damien with Lily, who deserves a romp after the years she's had. It's worth noting, as much as it's not all bad, it felt like settling for Lily to go back to Winters. Sharon's big gamble. They're really hyping the notion of Sharon undergoing hypnosis with Alan, which tells me that something will be revealed. I don't expect her to yell out, "It was crazy Aunt Jordan in the apartment with the octopus statue," but she might sense that another person was in the room when she blacked out, or the session might focus on the car wreck. Maybe Sharon will be able to provide a description of the vehicle that Jordan was driving. It's also possible that the revelation may not involve Heather's case or the car wreck at all, and we'll instead find out that Alan is actually Martin. Find out why we're concerned here. The Young and the Restless is all set to kick off 2025 with a banger of a start. The spoilers reveal that actor Nathan Owens will debut on the CBS Sudser in a dramatic and mysterious role in the January 8, 2025 episode. Currently, the soap is keeping the lid tightly shut on any details regarding the character he is set to play or the storyline that he is about to get involved in. However, after some digging, we have managed to find clues that hint that the character Nathan Owens is all set to debut. Previously, on The Young and the Restless, Amy Lewis confided in Nate Hastings about her son, who she had with Nate's father, essentially making him and Nate half-brothers. Amy requested Nate to find his brother and bring him to GC. Amy also told Nate that his brother, Damien, has sort of lost his way in life. She wanted Nate to take him under his wing and help get his life back on track. Reluctantly, Nate agreed to help. It seems rather plausible that Nathan Owens could be debuting as Nate's half-brother Damien. He seems to fit the age and ethnicity of the character. However, we will have to wait for the episode to roll out before being entirely sure of it. Speaking of Nathan Owens' past work, turns out Nathan is no stranger to daytime or to soaps. He has previously been part of Days of Our Lives. Nathan played the character Cameron Davis on the then NBC Sudzer in 2012. Apart from that, the model-turned-actor recently starred in a holiday movie, A Season to Remember. He has completed production on the independent feature, A Mother's Love in the lead role. Nathan's other acting credits include regular series roles on Devious Maids and recurring roles on Batwoman and 911, Lone Star. So one thing is for sure, he is a seasoned performer. We cannot wait to see what magic he brings with himself to the Y and R canvas. Stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily for more The Young and the Restless spoilers to find out more details. It's been an action-packed, drama-heavy few months for Sharon on Young and Restless, who has confessed to a murder, Heather's, that she may not even have committed. Soap Opera Digest checked in with her daytime Emmy-winning portrayer, Sharon Case, about Sharon's mental state and efforts to clear her name, plus her renewed conflict with Phyllis and closeness to Nick. Soap Opera Digest. This week's episodes have taken Sharon to an interesting juncture in this storyline, as she is in the throes of questioning her own culpability in Heather's death, a turning point, for sure. Sharon Case. Oh yeah, it is. The story has been taking a lot of different turns, and now we're at this juncture where she wants to be hypnotized and figure out what is happening when she's blacking out. Digest. It was such a great twist when Colleen Zank and Ray Wise came back into the Geno City mix. How did you find out that Jordan and Ian were part of this whole conundrum for Sharon? Case. Well, I found out when I read it in the script. I hadn't necessarily known who it was who was framing Sharon, or that they were involved. But I think that there are even more twists to come, that the way things appear to be now and the whodunit and who did what, these things are constantly in flux. These are things that are constantly in flux. So even though you may see a show and it looks like you've resolved one thing, who did what? Well, wait and see. I mean, I'm just as anxious to know the end of the story as anyone because they are really great, exciting stories. I like to be on the edge of my seat as well. Digest. One of the things about this storyline that I think has worked well is that it has made use of the great and rich history Sharon has with so many different characters, and certainly, Sharon and Phyllis's animosity has really cranked back up recently. Have you been enjoying that aspect of the story? Case. There are so many aspects that I love about it, mostly just that it's so well written. But yes, within the story, Sharon is involved with so many people from her whole history on the show, which is great and interesting and fun for me, and I think for the audience as well. And you're right, it has ratcheted up the Sharon and Phyllis conflict, which is perfect. I think that's a great rivalry, and we haven't really played that for years. You can't play it all the time, but I love to swing back to it, and I love the way the storyline has been written and laid out. It kind of taps into a lot of different things. We've got Ian and Jordan, and now we've got the Sharon and Phyllis problem, always fighting and being at odds when they're in each other's realms and in each other's orbit again. One basic storyline is now pulling in a lot of other stories that we love to tell, and they're all tied in. Digest. Sharon's decision to move forward with hypnosis comes on the heels of her articulating that she knows she's in some kind of danger, and she feels that Faith may also be in danger, really anyone in her orbit that she cares about. So that's a pretty heavy burden for her to be shouldering. How would you characterize her frame of mind at this juncture? Case: well, I think she doesn't know, really, where the problem is coming from or who's attacking her. She just found out that her meds were laced with drugs, and that's pretty terrifying. And Sharon has to wonder who else is going to be attacked in her family. That's pretty scary, so that is part of why she decides to go under hypnosis. To see if maybe that could reveal something, because at the point when she finds out about her meds being laced, she doesn't know who is responsible, and there's really no leads on how to figure that out. She's pretty scared, and she's doing whatever she can. Digest: do you think Nick voicing his skepticism that hypnosis will work got in her head at all? Case: she does usually agree with Nick and take his advice. They see eye to eye on a lot, and maybe she does see Nick's point of view, but Sharon expresses that she has to do this regardless. We have to look under every stone at just everything because there's just too much danger going on in the environment right now. We need to figure it out, and so maybe hypnosis doesn't lead to anything, but I've got to at least try. That's what she says, and she's determined to do it. Digest: Sharon overheard Phyllis tell Lauren that she thinks it's possible that Sharon might not have been the other driver on the night of her accident. How does that land on Sharon? Case: it's a surprise and new information at first that Phyllis won't come forward and say, "Hey, I don't think it was Sharon. She's covering this up." So that's a surprise at first on the one hand, but on the other hand, not really a surprise because, that is Phyllis's mo towards Sharon. Oftentimes, Phyllis wants to do whatever she can to take Sharon down. So it's another problem that she has to solve, Phyllis is a problem, whose poisoning her meds is another one. Her family is in danger. It just adds to the pile of things that are going on, that not only is there this tampering with her drugs business happening and her blackouts, but now Phyllis is coming around again, trying to entrap Sharon. I suppose that's the way it would look to Sharon, that Sharon is being accused of running her off the road, and Sharon admits that she was there on the road that night, but without Phyllis coming forward with this, she can't clear her name. It's a perfect conflict for those two to have within this storyline, though. Digest: Sharon has reached out to Alan Laurent to move forward with the hypnosis, and knows it's important to try to access whatever missing memories she possibly can. But do you think she's afraid at all of what might emerge under hypnosis? Case: maybe a little bit, in the back of her mind, but not so much as she's just anxious to get to the truth and see if this hypnosis will uncover anything that gives them a lead on who's been after her. I think that even though she might be slightly hesitant, on the other hand, she wants to lean into this. She's really adamant about doing so. Digest: we've seen Sharon in such an intense state of turmoil and guilt because for so long now, she has believed herself to be guilty of killing Heather. Do you think she's allowed herself to hope that she might find out that's not the case? Case: you're right, she has been in a lot of turmoil, and guilt is part of it. I think she's maybe a little bit fearful that the hypnosis could reveal that she is indeed guilty, and that she is correct in her confession to the murder. But I think that the not knowing is probably bothering her more than anything. So even if the hypnosis reveals that she is in fact guilty, she would rather know that for sure and not have any questions. Digest: moving ahead to the hypnosis session itself, I'm curious how you chose to play the scenes. Is Sharon all business? Is she stealing herself? Is she anxious? What is it actually like for her when it's go time? Case: when it was finally go time, Sharon was very focused and committed to the task at hand. Yes, she has a million different emotions going on at one time daily, but now she sees this as her chance to, hopefully, maybe, uncover some information. So she really zeroes in and just focuses on working with Alan, and making sure that the hypnosis really works. She wants to contribute to making that work as best she can. So that's where all the focus goes. Digest. Michael and Nick join her at the session. Why does she want them there? Case. Sharon feels it's better to have more people there, more witnesses, to hear what it is that she says and discovers while she's hypnotized. I suppose anyone would want that, in case they are worried that they won't remember what comes up in the session. Having an attorney present is a good idea because there could be really relevant information for the case. Just having more ears, more eyeballs on this to try to figure it out is a good thing. Maybe they can decode more of what Sharon uncovers under hypnosis than Sharon can. Digest. Well, as you know, there are still a lot of very devoted Nick and Sharon fans out there, and I've seen a lot of discourse online from fans who really appreciate the extent to which Nick has had Sharon's back throughout this and been advocating for her and supporting her. I would love to hear your thoughts about that. Case. I think it's another portion of this big story. We were saying how this main story has brought in so many different relationships, and that is one of them, and it is really nice that has been threaded through this, that Sharon has had Nick by her side the whole time. It really shows how connected they really have been all these years and still are. And who else would help or save Sharon other than Nick, the man that she's really spent her life with, married or not. So I'm glad to see that he was the one who has really helped her out and has really been by her side and just giving her all the support in the world. I think that the Sharon/Nick love story being played into is great. So the story has everything to offer: a whodunit storyline, a car crash, you've got love involved, two people who are reconnecting on their love and their history. Digest. What can you tease about what fans should look out for in terms of what comes to light during the hypnosis session? Case. There is a key thing that comes out. She does realize that something else happened when she was in Daniel's apartment. She recalls some new information about what happened in Daniel's apartment the night that Heather died. Digest. And is it fair to say that what she uncovers in the session has an impact on how Sharon moves forward as she continues to essentially fight for her life? Case. Oh yeah, I think that it does have an impact. What she discovers under hypnosis gives her a lot more verve and reason and drive to keep pushing forward to solve this whole mystery. She's gotten a few more clues, and she feels there is more to discover based on what she finds out under hypnosis.